What's up, everyone? You are tuned in to Three Questions and a Song, episode number 99 on music from 412.com, buildscene.com, radio.com, and all kinds of places on the internet, including XRP Radio and First Angel Media. And if you're out there, you'll find it. My name is Bill. This, as I mentioned, is Three Questions and a Song, except it really doesn't tell you what the show is because that 3-question thing went away on like episode number 4, and I ask as many questions as I feel like. With me tonight are Brendan and Rich from Kilmaine Saints. What's up, gentlemen?
How you doing tonight?
How's it going, Bill?
Well, not too bad. So why don't you introduce yourselves real quick, and then we'll move on from there.
I'm Brendan. I'm the lead singer of Kilmaine Saints. That means that I'm the guy that gets to yell in the microphone and tell very bad jokes on stage. We've been doing this for almost 15 years. You come out and see us on stage. I'm usually the shortest guy on stage and pretty easy to pick out.
And my name's Rich. I've been playing since about 2016. I joined the band. I do pretty much, if it's got strings, I'm going to play it. Mandolin, banjo, acoustic guitar, bass. We got a couple of multi-instrumentalists in the band, so I'm lucky enough to be one of them.
We have had a band called BUM, B-U-M, with this abbreviation stood for Bruce, Utah, and Marty, and they would switch instruments like during songs.
We have one song that switches in the middle of the song. Most of them we kind of try to do a block where everybody's on an instrument, and then we switch it up while Brendan talks. And one song gets a little interesting in the middle.
It does. It's controlled chaos on stage.
What's the song title?
That is McGowan's Wake.
Is there a video? I kind of want to see it now.
I think we probably have a live video on YouTube. There should be. I think there is a few out there.
There's no official video.
Yeah.
I will have to look it up.
Yeah. You'll just see that. You'll hear the instrumentation change and everybody just real quick running everywhere on stage as fast as they can.
All right. So let's start off with an easy question. Where did the name Kilmaine Saints come from?
So when the band started, roughly almost 15 years ago, John Heller and Mike McNaughton, our original drummer, played in a pipe and drum band and just had an idea, wouldn't this be great to do for free beer? And they started reaching out to other musicians. My sister-in-law let me know there was a band looking for a singer, and we got together and started playing music and tried to come up with some decent names. At the time, our accordion player had family in Kilmaine in Ireland, in a little town out in County Mayo. And the kind of like the name Kilmaine Saints, we voted on a few, and that one stuck, and it's been with us ever since.
Cool. So it's Celtic rock. Is that how you would describe it?
Yeah, I would say it walks the line probably between Celtic rock and Celtic punk. The older we get, I think we're leaning on the Celtic rock side, as nobody wants to see, or we don't have enough energy to keep it punk. That's kind of what I hear. What do you think, Rich?
I would agree. We're definitely on the harder edge of the rock. When you put us up against a lot of the other bands in the festival scene, we're definitely the harder edge. But I think as our sound grows, it's definitely going more towards the rock sound.
So I think, Rich, that first night when I was chatting with you, I think I mentioned the bastard bearded Irishman from Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And
very good friends of ours.
Yeah, that's when I first looked into what you guys were doing. I'm like, this looks so familiar.
Yeah, we played a lot of shows with them. It's always a good time. When was that last one? Down in Morgantown, West Virginia. We just played with them at 123 Pleasant Street, and that was the place was rocking.
Yeah, it was a good night. It was very hard to hear at the end of the evening from between both bands. So
I saw them last summer, about almost exactly a year ago, at Millville Music Festival, at Mr. Smalls I can never remember the name of the stage. It's the do it yourself stage. It's on the second floor, and they are definitely too big to be in that room. and not just like the band is, there's a bunch of them, but they have such a huge following.
Mhm.
And it was chest to back the
Yeah.
whole way in. And I actually had to go into the green room because it was so hot in there. There was fog forming and I couldn't breathe. But it worked out to my advantage because
Yeah.
Liz Berlin ended up being in the green room and I got to talk to Liz Berlin from Rusted Root.
Okay.
Nice.
Wow, that's
Nice.
cool.
Because she's a part owner.
Okay.
But anyway, that's my bastard beard Irishman story. That and I've been trying to get them on the show and they haven't come on yet.
Great lads. You'll have a good time. They're good, really, really good guys.
All right, so I'm going to hit you guys with some odd questions. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch the show. Yeah, there's eyes. Wait, they're not that odd, but I'm going to start out with pizza.
Okay.
What is the best pizza you've had because you're a musician? So, it could be on your way to a show, on your way home, at a show, at a rehearsal, at a recording session.
Can we tell you where it isn't and then go into where it is?
I mean, if you're willing to burn that bridge, go right ahead.
Scranton is not where you want to go get pizza.
Famous Scranton pizza.
Not being too far from Philadelphia. You can go anywhere. I mean, I do a lot of work out in Philadelphia, and anytime somebody's like, "Hey, let's do lunch and get pizza," you can't go wrong. As far as a place locally, I live in Lancaster County. There's a really, really good place out, like right down the road from us. That's dynamite. So
there is, or used to be in Scranton, a RV place named Damiano's. I know this because I tried to buy that domain name and they already had it. Hey, so who's your Dave Grohl? And what I mean by that is, who do you want to go up on stage with and perform one of their original songs?
That's a good one, Rich. You answer that one, Rich.
I would have to say, in our scene, with some of the bands that we played with, Flatfoot 56 is by far one of my favorite live bands. I would like to say a very similar sound to what we do. Definitely a band that we look up to with the success that they've had. But I mean, every song they put out is just a banger. And if I can get on stage with them and play any of them, it'd be an honor.
That's a good answer. Could you imagine me being on stage next to those guys?
Next to Tobin?
Yeah, I run a good 5'5". They're both 6'11".
It's content. It's all content. It's good.
It's all content. It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that another story clicked in my head, but I'll make it fast. So my brother is 5'10" and he played guard in high school football team, and the rest of the team's linemen were at least 6'4" or taller. And he said he lived in the land of the giants.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That could be a great band name if you join them. The land of the giants.
Land of the Giants. They could be giant. Oh, no, that's taken. Never mind.
Yeah. How about if you guys had a chance to sit down with any songwriter in the history of music, living or dead, who would you want to sit down with and write a song with?
For me, hands down, Shane MacGowan of the Pogues. That's not even a question. I think, in my opinion, I'd put him up against any songwriter at any time. Just a pure poet, good musician in his own, but just a complete poet and a great songwriter. That would be somebody that would, in his elderly years, I'm sure he could still write circles around us, but just an incredible talent with the pen.
Myself, I think for music and songwriting, it all goes back to the Beatles for me. That's what really got me into music and wanting to play music. So to make me pick between John Lennon or Paul McCartney would be too difficult, because both of them, what they brought to the table was amazing. And just to be able to sit and be in that room and watch them do anything would be awesome.
Along the same lines, you have a chance to sit down with your musical idol, but they will only let you ask one question. Who are you talking to and what's your question?
Oh, I might need you go ahead, Rich. I might need a minute on that one.
Let's go back to the Beatles, the big McCartney and Lennon. Like, put them in a room, ask them which one's better, who's the better songwriter.
Yeah, I don't. That's tough. That's tough. That is a tough one. I probably just for the experience of it, the old Irish traditional band, the Dubliners, going way back. Ronnie Drew, you sit down and talk to him and ask if his throat if he used to rub his throat with sandpaper, because the guy, that's exactly the voice he had. It was beautiful, but it sounded like sandpaper.
See, now my throat hurts. So a network television station tells you that you've won 30 seconds to tell their viewers about your band. What would you include in that commercial?
We've made sound men cry and hit their head against the wall. And that's actually a very true statement. That's a very true statement.
Is that because of the amount of people on stage or because of the varying instruments that they play?
Both. It's a lot. When we go to shows, somebody sees the stage plot that we have and the instrumentation they carry. I mean, what's it, Rich? Probably 14, 15 different instruments in a night that get plugged in. I
have 3 lines myself, and they just kind of look at me like, what do you need 3 lines for? Like, well, I play all these, and unless you want to run them out of 1 line, then I'm going to need 3.
Yeah. Then the other part, be ready to dance. Your feet are going to hurt the next morning on purpose.
Yeah, I would tell them we might not be the best band, but you're going to have the best time watching us play.
Agreed.
I've asked this question a lot recently on both shows, but I'm going to ask it again anyway. Kiss played in a bay in Australia to great white sharks, and Metallica played in a bubble in Antarctica. What is a non-standard venue that you think Kilmaine Saints should play at?
A pub that has no beer.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if one exists, but that's...
I
think
you might have just got disowned by a lot of people.
I was going to say, no, I'm just saying like something that's different. Like my personal preference, believe me, they don't have beer. Usually we're bringing beer. So it's...
Or along those lines, we can go to like the Guinness Brewery and play just to the beer and not to the people.
That's true. It'll be a lot of instrumentals as I will be back sampling.
How about an embarrassing moment that has happened on stage?
Oh boy.
Personally or to somebody in the band?
Oh, you can do it either way. It's even funnier.
Come on, don't steal mine. Don't steal. So a member of our band. Yeah, Boilo. A member of our band. And Eric, you know who you are. We won't mention his name, but he knows who he is. Very excited for a big St. Patrick's Month show up in Muck Chunk at the Opera House. Beautiful venue. Always have a great crowd. Everybody's ready to go. And we had a pipe and drum band that was joining us. They were going to kind of do the opening ceremonies and kind of lead in the show. And great folks. Hawk Mountain, I think was her name. Really, really, really great people. And they bought a jar of Boilo moonshine. Eric fell in love with a devil he didn't know. By the time we went on stage, he was he started the show and was all feeling the Boilo and excited and tripped over his case on the floor and just wiped out. And that's to his credit. He got the guitar didn't hit the ground. He barely even missed a note, but we sent him the video, slow motion. I know if he's listening to this, I know he's red-faced. My phone's going to go off any second.
It was the first chord of the night.
It was. It really was. He came out to hit it and went, whoa, and tripped and fell backwards.
You guys know Quincy?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Quincy, you have the video to prove it.
I had a feeling. So the next story is about Quincy. No.
We can't. Quincy does too much for us, so we can't shame him while we're doing this.
Do you have one?
I was just thinking of the one time, also involves Eric, but not as embarrassing for him as much. So being in a Celtic band members and crowd members oftentimes wear kilts. And there should be certain kilt etiquette, but when sometimes you're playing a festival and people are seated in the grassy areas, they're not aware of what might be showing when they're sitting in their lawn chairs. But Eric, to his credit, running around the stage is like nudging everybody. You see that? You see that? And like
it was like a 3-year-old.
Oh.
No. I mean, like he's like a 3-year-old. Like, look what I see.
He's like, okay. He's like,
yeah,
got it.
Yes.
I'm glad you clarified that.
And threw a couple things into the microphone that just us were able to know what was going on.
Wait, yeah, that was so that guy in Missouri. You know who you are.
Kilt etiquette, and he's discussed
kilt etiquette. That's right.
We have a band in this area called Homicide Black, and their drummer is Jazz Byers, who does Jazz's Rock and Road show on Music from the 412. But the reason I mentioned him is he usually wears a black leather kilt while he's playing metal.
Yeah, you see some bands outside the genre like doing that too.
Yeah. He plays in a bunch of bands, but I've only ever seen him wear the kilt when he's in Homicide Black.
Okay.
All right. So what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna ask you to tell me a story about your song "Same Again Tomorrow." But pause for just a second. Is this the Eric we're referring to?
There he is.
There he is.
Remember, we kid because we love.
Balls.
Boilo.
All right, so we're gonna hear "Same Again Tomorrow," and we will be right back with some more questions for Kilmaine Saints.
It's almost time for the annual Fostering Music Summer Shindig. Fostering Music is a charitable organization dedicated to enriching the lives of children currently in or adopted out of the foster care system. We proudly partner with local foster care agencies to provide musical instruments and instruction in conjunction with local music stores. This year's Summer Shindig fundraising event features 2 days of local music and outdoor family fun. Come out and make a difference while having a blast.
Okay, so I jumped the gun there and played the commercial ahead of time. Tell us about the song we just heard, "Same Again Tomorrow," please.
Gary Urice, our fiddle player, is newer to the band. It's been a little over 2 years. So we were beating our heads against the wall with some ideas for songs for the new album. And Untitled at that point had come with a very, very complex song. I know from my point of view, it was probably the most challenging vocally. There's a lot of different parts in it. Musically, I'm sure Rich would probably tell you the same thing. I think everybody fell in love with it. We probably were cursing him at first because it was a lot of work to do with it. But listening to the words of the song kind of really had a common ground with our sense of humor, of not really taking anything that seriously, and kind of a pub that you just constantly go to and every night. Why are we here? But it's going to be the same thing every day. We liked the song so much and just seemed like a good fit for the name of the album.
Very cool.
Yeah, I thought when we heard it, it was a good gauge of where we were going musically as a band. Because Brendan mentioned the complexity. A lot of our songs in the past were 3-4 chords, verse, chorus, throw a solo in there, and we were out. This is one of the first times we had like multiple parts and dynamics in a song. Well, not the first time, but it definitely showcased it. So I think that's kind of why I won the title for the album, because it did kind of show that direction that we were going.
Sorry, for those of you watching the video, my microphone and my arm keep disappearing. That's why I'm moving things around. I don't know what's going on with the green screen tonight. So if you leave a gig and there's a DeLorean sitting there with its door up in the air and a flux capacitor in the back seat, where are you going in time, and what band are you going to hang out with while you're there?
Ooh. There's a lot. I probably would go back to more of the traditional roots to see the Dubliners live. Luke Kelly had passed away in '84 and was really the heart and soul of the Dubliners. And at a time where everybody went out to see music. Nowadays, you still get concert goers, but they were massive over in Ireland and over in Europe. And the opportunity to go back and actually get the chance to see them play would be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I go to a different direction. I'd say late 70s, 77, 79, hang out at CBGB's and check out just the burgeoning punk scene that was developing there. Starting with the Ramones and everybody else that came through there, just to be a fly on the wall and see how that grew would have been awesome.
So what I want to do now is I'm going to play the question that Anaphylaxis had for you guys, and let's give you a chance to answer it. And then I'm going to ask you about your question for Craig, and we'll see how much time we have left because we're running a little low.
Okay.
One, stay motivated, and two, they've probably gone through lineup changes because it takes time to build a following like that. How do they deal with lineup changes and bringing new people onto the band?
I didn't catch part one there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Let me try that again.
My question to them is they're a very large band. Like they have 15,000 followers on Facebook. What I wanted to know is how do they, one, stay motivated, and two, they've probably gone through lineup changes because it takes time to build a following like that. How do they deal with lineup changes and bringing new people onto the band?
That's a really, really good question because staying motivated is very difficult. It's called whiskey. That's probably the thing that helps the most. But yeah,
free whiskey.
Free whiskey. Free whiskey is always the best. Man, what we've had, I think we went through all the members we've had in that time, 16, 17 different members. So it's very difficult because as the band gets larger and, we don't do this for a living. Everybody's got day jobs. We are weekend warriors. We take some of that time. We have families. It can be very difficult knowing, all right, now we got to start over and, we got somebody we got to get up to speed. It can sometimes be a good process too, because with somebody else playing something different, or it wasn't maybe an old member, they may have a fresh perspective on a song that has helped us. So the big thing is still loving what we do, knowing that, that's that many lineup changes that happens. That's a really, really good question.
They are a fairly newer band, in case you couldn't tell by the question.
Okay.
How about the question you guys have for Craig Veltri?
Yeah, I had a chance to check out his stuff and awesome, like polished Nashville kind of sound that he had going on. And I saw like videos that he was down in Nashville. I guess my question for him is how do you get new people interested in original material? Like, does he have more success just playing shows, or is he doing like the social media website kind of thing? But how's he get that music out there to new people?
Awesome. Hey, I'm going to ask two questions really fast. We have about a minute. I put on the screen KilmaineSaints.com. How else can they find you online? Is that the easiest?
That's probably the best place, because then you can link to everything from there. We're on YouTube. We're on, I would say Facebook and Instagram are the main ones where we're mostly active. Building up YouTube. We're playing around with TikTok. I don't know what's going on there though. But Facebook and Instagram are the best places. But you come to the website, you'll get the store, the links, all that stuff.
And maybe give me 2 upcoming shows if you have them.
The end of June, we will be at the PA Renaissance Fair for the Celtic Fling. I think there's 30 some bands throughout Saturday and Sunday. An incredible time. So in our backyard, it's one of our favorite places to play. And the end of September, we will be in actually out at the Celtic Classic out in Bethlehem. I think it's the largest free Irish festival on the East Coast, and always an incredible time with the lineup they have there as well. Great people, great musicians.
Cool. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight.
Thank you. That was awesome. I wasn't ready for some of the questions, so it was great. You kept us.
I kind of tried to warn you, but after we were live,
that was good. That was good. That was excellent. And remember, Eric, we love you.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us, Bill. This was awesome.
Thank you very much, Bill. Appreciate it.
Thank you.